Yo, what is up guys? Ethan here back with another video, and today I'll be giving you my game preview and prediction on one of the two college football playoff matchups, Clemson versus Ohio State. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. But two things before we hop into this video. Number one, later tonight or tomorrow, the second playoff matchup, Alabama-Notre Dame, that will be uploaded on the channel. And also sometime this week, my top 15 games of the college football season. That video is going to upload sometime this week. I'm only doing it this early because it's only the regular season and conference championship games. But let's hop into this matchup, as this was probably the best game last season. And Clemson and Trevor Lawrence, they came back last year. Ohio State was up like 17-0, and then Clemson came back and won by a few points. And this could be a close game like that, and this has the potential to be even better. This could potentially be Justin Fields, Chris Olave, Travis Etienne, and Trevor Lawrence. All their final games is this one. And there's some pretty big names that in college football. Let's start with Ohio State, and of course we have to talk about Justin Fields. And he has still been one of the top quarterbacks in college football this year. But in the recent games, he has struggled a little bit. And you can arguably say that last season, he played better than this year. He did lose some of his receiver talent, but they have a crazy two-headed monster at the receiving core with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Garrett Wilson has taken the step up like everybody expected, and he is probably one of the top receivers in college football. And also Chris Olave, he has been very reliable in the few years, and you can't leave that man wide open. Let's just say that. And also, they have a two-headed monster at the running back position with Master Teague and Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon, we saw last week, had a historic game versus Northwestern, having over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. And all 3 of his touchdowns in the season was in that game. And also, Master Teague has been the primary running back this year, as he's been getting a lot of touches, and he's also been very reliable in the offense. Also, not to mention, you have to look out for Justin Fields in the running game, since he's a scrambling quarterback. The offensive line is still very good. Wyatt Davis is probably the most notable name, but that offensive line is very good. The defense going into this year, I was very questionable because they lost some key time players, mainly corner Jeff Okudah. But Shaun Wade has definitely filled into that spot, and he had a rocky start to the season, but in the past few weeks, he's definitely taken that step up, and he's definitely that top corner on the Ohio State team. And that secondary, it didn't start good, but it's definitely looked good in the past few weeks, and that defensive line has always been good. Now let's go to Clemson, and of course, you have to start with the best player in college football, and Trevor Lawrence. Now, statistically, it's been Devontae Smith who has all the hype. But we all know, with talent-wise, Trevor Lawrence is the best player in college football. He did miss a few games, and yet he is still a Heisman finalist this year, which is just crazy. His arm talent and accuracy is just crazy, and like we saw last year, you have to have a spy on him sometimes, as he is able to get outside the pocket and run for a few yards. And then you also have Travis Etienne, probably one of the most versatile running backs in college football. He's the third leading receiver on the team, and of course the top rusher on the team. And since he's a senior and graduated a few weeks ago, this could be his last game. So he's definitely going to be putting on a show. Now, the receiving core. After Justin Ross got injured and he's out for this year, and of course T. Higgins leaving, there was a very big question mark on this receiving core. And like I said in the offseason, I think Amari Rodgers is going to have a crazy year this year, and he has done exactly that. He's leading the team in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. And also Chris Powell. He's been a really good and reliable receiver as well, and they have been really good this year. And also, E.J. Williams, true freshman, has been getting more involved in the offense, so he could be a name to look out for. This offensive line for Clemson is not one of the best in college football, but it's definitely reliable. Now, this defense, they started off not very good in my opinion. But after that Virginia game, this defense has been crazy. And probably the best defense in college football if it wasn't for Notre Dame. And you can arguably make the case that their defense is better than Notre Dame. That defensive line is just crazy. You just have their third string edge rushers could probably be a starter at like Northwestern or Purdue. That's how great their edge rushers are, especially with the true freshmen Miles Murphy and Bryce Breesy. I'm not sure if Breesy's playing because of the injury, but I'm not exactly sure. I would think he is. That linebacking core is not the best in the country, but has great awareness and is very understanding on what the plays are. And that secondary, even though their secondary is really good, it's probably their weakest spot on the defense. And I'm going to give you my game prediction right now. I really wanted to go with Ohio State here, but there is a few reasons why I'm not. By the way, my final score prediction, I got Clemson 37-34. Now, I'm going to give you three reasons why Ohio State I don't think is going to win this game. Number one is the coaching. I think Ryan Day is a good coach, one of the top in college football, but I think people overpraise him a little too much, and I think he's tad overrated as a coach, and I think Dabo Swinney is a way better coach than Day is. Also, Swinney has more experience at the coaching level. Number two of the best players in college football are on Clemson's offense, and Trevor Lawrence and ETN. If this is somehow their last game, I cannot see either of those letting Ohio State win this game. I just can't. And my third reason is the receiving core. I know, I love this two-headed monster for Ohio State in Wilson and Olave. But you can look at the stats. If besides Wilson and Olave, they don't have another receiver that's over 100 yards, I'm pretty sure. Let me just look at that just to be sure. And yes, there is not a receiver that has over 100 yards or 10 receptions besides Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. For the record, Ohio State only played like 5-6 games, but still, in that span, you would think at least there's another receiver that has at least 10 receptions or over 100 yards. So even though Rucker is a good tight end, I'm not sure about that receiving core and if anyone can step up. I know they have great recruits, but I'm not sure if they're going to be ready for a big game like this. But I hope they go out and prove me wrong. And those are my three reasons why Ohio State will not win this game. And that's why I think Clemson will be the second team to advance. The first game will be coming up later with Alabama and Notre Dame. Like I said, my final score, Clemson wins 37-34. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. So guys, I hope you have a good day. And yeah, peace out.